Hey everybody, happy Monday morning. As you guys know, Mondays here on my channel are Mental Health Monday videos, so welcome back. Hope you guys had a really great weekend. We had a wonderful weekend. We got to have a fun little barbecue with some of our Ukrainian friends, and then today we went to a friend's house for dinner and spent some time with family and everything. So it was a great, productive weekend. And it was like our first official summer weekend, and it just felt great. We started basketball with Will, and we have a really busy week this week with dance camp for Molly and basketball camp for the boys. It's gonna be a crazy one, but I'm really excited to be here with you guys again and do another mental health video. So as you guys know, every time I talk about something on these videos, I like to preface this with saying, if you guys feel like you have, like, I am not a doctor, I'm not a therapist or psychologist or anything. I'm just sharing my personal experiences and my opinion on certain topics. And so just don't take everything I say as like, this is how it has to be for you. I encourage you to talk to your therapist, your doctor, if you have questions about things. So I just wanted to preface this by saying that. Just want to get that out there. But today's video, I always try to like pray and I think about what can I share with everyone to get them going on a Monday, how can I motivate them? And this came to mind today. I was listening to a podcast with Oprah, you guys know her podcast, and she was speaking with a woman, gosh, what was her name? I can't even remember it. Dang it, what was her name? I can't remember her name anymore, but maybe you guys will remember and you can comment down below in the comments and share with everybody. But basically this woman, I believe it was back in 2011 on Christmas Eve, her house went up in flames, and in this fire she lost her mother and her father and her 3 daughters who were all under the age of 10. And she actually has done a TED Talk since then, and that's why Oprah had her on her podcast. But during the podcast, I mean, I didn't listen to the entire podcast, I listened to about 3/4 of it, and then we got to my friend's house. But she was talking about kind of how she survived that and how she has grieved, obviously, for the loss of so many people that she had loved. And the word that kept coming up was resilience. Resilience, resilience, resilience. And it's been interesting to me because I've gone through trials in my life. Every person has gone through a trial in their life of some sort. Some may seem more extreme than others, but they are trials nonetheless. And I've never shared any of these trials on my channel. I don't think it's appropriate to. They're very personal to me. But the one thing that gets me through is resilience, resilience, resilience. And I have recently, there's a vlog coming up this week. I met a woman last week at an event that I went to that I vlogged. I didn't vlog her, but the event I vlogged. And she was telling me how one of her children passed away. Well, it was her first child, passed away 18 months old due to an accident of somebody running him over in their driveway while they were moving. And that really hit my heart. And she's had a few kids since then. But you could still tell that to this day, 12 plus years later, that it still, you know, was something that like hit hard. And then yesterday I was at the swimming pool and I was changing the twins in the bathroom, and the swim started talking to me and told me that she had lost one of her children at a very young age as well. And I just kept thinking of these women who have gone through these really big trials, and not just women, men, women, mothers, people who aren't mothers. We go through some hard things in this life, and nobody is safe. That's the thing. There's no karma out there that will keep you safe. There's nothing that will keep you from the tragedies of life, unfortunately. We're all not safe, which is kind of a scary thought. But it's all about resilience, and it's all about how you look at those trials, because each one of these women, as I talked to them or as I listened to them on the podcast, they were hopeful. And it wasn't something that they had like moved on from, because those are things that, how can you move on from losing a child? But they had learned to live in a different way, and they had taken what had happened to them and have used that to help others who go through difficult things, whether they're similar or not. And so I wanted to talk about that today in my mental health video, just resilience. What does resilience mean? To me, it means you just keep going. No matter how many times you get pushed down, you just keep going. And I actually just posted this on my Instagram on Saturday because this has been something that has been frustrating me to no other, and maybe I need to do a different video on this. My weight loss journey has been so frustrating. I just kept hitting this point where I weigh exactly the same now as I did a year ago, which is so frustrating. I mean, I've gone up I've gone down a little bit, but every time I keep coming back to the same weight. And I know that this, I'm not comparing like this is a trial, just stay with me here. I try running and then I get injured. I try this and then I get sick. Everything that I keep doing just isn't sticking. And I was doing Slim Vance. A lot of you have been asking about Slim Vance, and I did it and it was great. And then I got influenza B. And so I just couldn't keep doing it because my body was just so, anytime I tried doing something, it would just retaliate basically. And Saturday, I went on a run and I decided to push myself a little bit more than I normally do because I'm always scared of injuring my back, because you guys know the twins are in my back. And as I was running, it was the best run that I've had in about 3 years as far as time and distance. And it's funny because that time that I ran it is like what I used to run my slowest at. But for me, after having the twins and everything, that was the best time I've had in a long time. And it just felt so good. And it reminded me of why I loved running so much, because in 2013, it was hands down one of the hardest years of my life. And I remember running and running and running for therapy purposes. And I remember anytime I would run so hard, I would just be bawling because of all the frustrations of everything that was going on in my life at the time. And I just kept thinking, life is so much like running that you just have to keep going. You have to be resilient. And when I was running on Saturday, I thought about that a lot, that I've been through a lot of hard things, but I just don't give up. You can't give up. And this last week, we lost Kate Spade and Anthony Bourdain to suicide. And you can't give up, you guys. No matter what you're going through. I've heard some horrific stories recently, too personal to share. People I know, people I don't know, of people going through some horrible trials. And it's so scary and it's so hard knowing where's the hope, where's the light at the end of the tunnel, why am I even here, why am I going through this? And it's all about resilience. You have to get back up again. If you get knocked down, you have to get back up, because there's always purpose, there's always hope, and life can always get better. It always can. And things will not necessarily get easier in some ways, but they can in other ways. And it's just finding that resilience and finding that drive to keep going, even though everything in life might be throwing itself at you to try to make you stumble, to try to make you fall, to try to make you give up. You cannot give up. So in saying this, I was actually recently contacted by a company that I will probably talk about next week, because I'm still in the works with them, about like an online therapy program. And I feel like that is so great. What a great opportunity. What a great way to talk to a therapist. I believe that they are so helpful. I know that my therapist changed my life a few years ago. When I went to her, I was at this point in my life where I was having anxiety attacks and all these things, panic attacks all the time, and I was super depressed. And she saved my life. And I also recently, this last week, got a message from one of you guys who said that I helped save your life because of these videos. And because of these videos, she was able to recognize that she needed that help. And so I will never stop doing these Mental Health Monday videos. I don't care how late it is. I don't care how my editing is. We are doing this, you guys. We are doing this every week because we're talking about this. And that's what I really want to talk about today, was resilience and having that ability to keep going even though everything keeps stopping you. And that's how I finally felt with running, that I didn't want to give up. I wanted to run because running is my therapy, and running is one of the best forms of exercise that I have ever found for me. And to be able to run again like I used to was just so liberating, and it was just felt so great. And that's how I want to feel in life, that sometimes I'll have major setbacks with my health or with my back or whatever when it comes to running. And same with life, I'm going to have setbacks, right? Things are going to happen to me, good, bad. I'm going to have missed opportunities. I might lose friends. We might move someday. You know what I mean? Things will change in life, but I'm going to keep going. And I want you guys to keep going. Don't give up. Don't give up the end goal. Just keep pushing. And I feel like the harder things get, every time something super hard happens to me and I keep pushing and pushing and pushing, on the other side is the most incredible blessing. And the twins is a perfect example of that. I remember having just the worst depression during my twin pregnancy. and it was so difficult and so hard. And I remember being told that at the end that the twins would bring me so much joy and so much happiness, that all of this would be worth it, because that 9-month period of depression and me being sick and miserable, gallbladder problems, all these health problems, that would be just be like a tiny sliver, because for the rest of my life and all eternity, I would have the blessing of the twins in my life. And I can't even imagine my life without them now. They bring me so much happiness and so much joy. And I feel like that's a perfect example for life, that we're gonna push through, we're gonna work through the hard things, and things are gonna happen to us. Horrific things might happen to us. People might do things to us. You know, we're gonna see things happen to people, but we have to keep going, we have to keep fighting, and we have to keep living just for ourselves. Not just for ourselves, but for our family, for our friends, and for strangers that we don't even know. I think about the strength that I have received from so many of you guys, because you share your stories and your experiences, and the strength that I get from other people who have gone through things that I can't even imagine going through. Like that woman I'm talking about from the podcast on Oprah, I still can't remember her name, but I seriously cannot imagine going through something so horrific, losing my children, losing my parents all in one day, and how that would affect me. But she is doing it, and she's helping to inspire people to keep living, to keep moving forward. And it wasn't easy for her, and she still struggles to this day, but she's uplifting other people. And so I want to encourage you guys to share your stories, share your truth, share your trials with people, be empathetic towards them. Really try to understand people and what they're going through, and not be so judgmental, because I think we all are judgmental. I'm judgmental sometimes too. We all are in some way, but just keep going. That's the message I want to give to you today, especially because it's a Monday and we have a whole week ahead of us. Keep going this week. When you want to give up, don't give up. Keep running, keep going, and find that fire in you, and just know that on the other end of all of this is something really great and something really grand. I promise that to you. So thank you so much for watching, you guys. Have a great Monday. I have a few videos lined up for you this week, and I'm really excited about a few of them, so get excited. So thanks so much for watching, you guys. We'll see you guys tomorrow probably. Bye.